What's up, everybody? Couple of Bettors, episode 40. Special guest in the house. Newbs is with us.
Hey.
Big time sports bettor.
You'll be too
Long time
late.
listener. So this is a real honor. And the fact that I'm getting paid for it,
Yeah, that's a
it's
bonus.
just icing on the cake.
Yeah.
With alcohol, but still counts.
We were able to piece it together in a marketing budget to bring you on board.
I'm an easy hire.
Yeah, this is good. But everybody doesn't know, me, Christine, and Newbs, we're all focused on the gambling, and since we moved away, it's not been exactly the same. So we're happy to be doing this episode with them, trying to make that money together. And we'll get right into how we normally do it with you got Vegas.
This is a good Vegas one. This is not just the average person getting Vegas.
So if you haven't heard about it, Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign, putting out new music, putting out a new album. They decided to go to Vegas, and they're going to do like an underground rave on the DL, sell some tickets, and people can go there and watch them perform some of their new music. Well, the police got word of it, and then, within a short period of time, they disbanded the whole crowd. But the people who got Vegas were the people who decided to pay $2,000 to get in to hear that new music. So you came to Vegas, you heard about a Kanye concert, you wanted to hear the music, you paid $2,000, they disbanded it, and you lost your money. Well, it's better than that at the tables. I don't know.
Well, you got to put some blame on Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign. They know you can't just decide to throw a giant rave without having the proper paperwork.
Right,
So
and
that was
they just
on
needed
them.
like a license. They probably could have filed for it like 2 days
No problem.
before.
They would have loved to have it in there.
I think, first of all, this Kanye guy can't catch a break. Recently,
You're right.
he's doing everything right. It's just things just not going his way.
I know. Yeah, he has some really good things to say normally. Some good rants he's been on. Terrible.
But yeah, we'll see how Fire Festival, what is it, 3.0 now?
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if he's invited. All right. Next up, let's face it, people in the news, players in the news. First up, start out with your former boy.
Yeah, we got a couple of Colts players, but yes, Isaiah McKenzie was once on the Bills. Loved him when he was there. Did some good stuff, but apparently not good enough because we got rid of him. And Tony Brown, again, both from the Colts, are suspended for the rest of the season, which is only like 3 games. If they Colts were to happen by a miracle making it to the playoffs, they would be allowed to play again. But basically, they're done for the season.
Okay.
They, for some reason, got in trouble for putting player safety at risk, and they won't give you any more detail than that. So we're not sure what they did. I mean, 3 of us have speculated on some great things, but that's all the NFL will tell us is that they definitely broke the player safety protocol, and so now they don't get to play anymore this season.
Maybe it was just like a bad fight in a locker room. But it'd be fun, more fun if it was guns.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's irresponsible to speculate. So
That's all we do.
Maybe it's
I'll
guns
say
and drugs.
one thing I think we could probably rule out had nothing to do with some kind of drug ring with Jimmy Irsay. I mean, I guess you can't officially rule it out because they haven't mentioned what the actual issue is.
Right.
Yeah.
It could, well,
But high probability it was not that.
maybe they were trying to sex traffic some of their own
Wow.
players.
Yeah, but probably not.
But,
Yeah,
But we don't know for
we
sure.
don't know. It could be anything.
It could be.
We'll see. I
Yeah.
assume.
Maybe it'd be maybe conduct detrimental to the owner, which is they keep selling him pills and he keeps taking them.
Yeah, he's part of the team.
So,
Yep.
But
Well,
it's
anyway.
probably not that. It's
probably not
And
that.
we definitely think it was not that.
but because they didn't say, it's in the realm of possibility.
Of course, everything is.
Everything is.
We can't rule anything out at this point.
Related to Pizzagate, Epstein, the list is coming out soon.
Right. There's like 150 names that we haven't seen yet.
So it could have been one of these.
It's sex trafficking, guys.
Is it them?
They're sex trafficking.
Again, I assume not.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We got Derrick Ward.
Yeah, Derrick Ward. So former NFL player, most recently on the Bucks, had some decent contracts. You're right.
I thought I was getting a drink spilled on me. It was the wire, but it was cold. I'm sorry.
So he was a former player, had a couple good contracts, a couple $1 million here and there, probably made $10 million over his career. Recently arrested for holding up several gas stations and robbing them. So things have not been going well since he left the NFL. It seems like
Clearly.
that. Yeah. So I mean, what is going on with these guys? They can't. Bad advice, bad financial advice, I guess, is what the root cause is. or bad spending. You know.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, remember like didn't Mark Brunell at some point like open a chain of restaurants?
Yes.
And go bust. So I assume Derrick Ward just opened a chain of restaurants
Yeah.
and ended up having to rob gas stations.
It's true.
But like, you're not gonna pick any good stores. You gotta go to gas stations, like local gas.
Yeah, exactly.
Stations. Like,
It
come on, are
should
you
be.
just lazy? You're like, this is around the corner. I'm gonna go try this one.
Pull a real heist.
Yeah.
Right. If you're gonna break the law,
Yeah.
you're
Go
just
into
gonna
Gucci and get a mob with you and just steal a bunch of shit and then resell it.
That's right. And what are they doing?
Much-
And I
much
think it was in
easier.
California too. So it's like that's what they do there.
Yeah, Rodeo Drive, right?
Yeah. Who's sitting there?
Come on,
You're
come
gonna
on.
get caught. You're
on.
gonna get caught. Go for broke.
Or go for like Larry Allen. Remember Larry Allen?
No.
Larry Allen, the lineman for the Cowboys.
what
He was
did
like he was arrested crossing the Canadian border with a van full of weed.
That's true.
And he said,
And
they
he's a
asked
Hall of Famer.
him- Hall of Famer. They asked him about it, and he said, "Well, my mom always told me to be the best at whatever I'm going to be." So
A van full though? Come on, you roll down the window and they can smell it. That's just dumb.
he did it.
All right, well, moving on. Sorry, I need to have some of my alcohol first. We got Mr. Sue, that piece of shit, if you ask
No,
me.
say his full first name.
Ndomukong Suh. He's visiting the Dolphins because that's what they need. Someone that just steps on body parts once he takes you down because he's garbage. I hope the Dolphins don't pick him up. I hope he doesn't want the whatever it is. He needs to stay far, far away. I was really hoping he was done with this game, but that is the latest on his dumbass visiting the Dolphins. So
Yeah, he made a late push with the Eagles last year, signed with
Yeah.
them. But before that, he was with the Dolphins for a couple of years, I think 3 years. something
all I
like
know
that.
is he's a piece of shit, and I still have to play them, and I don't want him anywhere near,
True.
anywhere around. Go.
I think he
Deuces.
just gets emotional sometimes and wants to stomp on a guy's face. And
Yeah.
I mean, we all do, but we don't. We make sure we don't. He
Right.
needs to do the same. Pull it back. Rein it in.
Yep.
maybe he's learned.
Maybe he has.
We'll see. We'll see. Week 18 against the Bills.
Yeah, I don't want to see. We're not seeing.
I know. That's probably what he would be activated to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're waiting for.
They said no signing was imminent, though, as of today.
Great.
All right. Last up, Rashard Mendenhall made some news. He tweeted some things basically saying, like, why do I have to listen to these white people and their commentary about football? They're no good. And, put me up against any of your, greatest and, whatever. Then he went out saying there should be an all white versus all black Pro Bowl. And then, which is the great thing about the NFL. These guys are playing in teams where it's mixed since they're freaking in college or whatever else. And they're all having a great time with this. They all love it. They're all J.J. Watt coming out saying some stuff about the teams. And we'd get cooked at corner, right, against Tyreek, and makes sense. And Will Compton put this whole analysis together about who would be on the white team and this and that. But good for Rashard Mendenhall, getting out there and starting some good conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preach,
I like
brother.
the replies to it. It was like broken down into like 3 groups where like 1/3 was offended.
Yeah.
The other third was taking it seriously and actually starting to put a team together. And the rest were just like angry Pittsburgh fans who were mad about his fumble in the Super Bowl against the Packers.
Oh, man.
They're just posting pictures of him fumbling.
It's like, you keep talking, you fumble.
They don't forget.
Butterfingers.
Steelers fans don't forget.
No, they don't. No, they don't. All right, well, that's it for Let's Face It this week. Quick run through, how do we do betting? This is the second week in a row that we're going to give you about a 50% hit rate, which is fucking throwing darts. And we lost barely a little bit of money. Unfortunately for me, I bet a lot on the Jets. 7.3 units on the Jets. It was a mixture of money line betting and plus the 10 and this and that. And how'd they do?
Josh's high conviction in that one inspired me to put a bet on the Jets prior to the game, and it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work out. But you know what? It's always next week. It's always
Yeah.
next game.
That's
And,
it.
My
at least-
dumbass was hopeful that you guys would fucking cover, and I put money on the damn Jets.
Yeah, I only bet
like
him to
it.
cover. I did not put a money line bet on it.
I didn't. I don't know what to think. You know what it was? It was like I was doubling down on emotion because if they had the win, then we would still be alive, and that was the whole thing. And I really wanted it to be the case, but
Yeah.
luckily they showed no signs of life. in
No.
30-0.
I didn't expect it to be that kind of game.
I couldn't believe the pass rush the Dolphins had looked pretty good, but against the fucking middle school line that the Jets have.
But the
now.
Jets, I mean, with a bad offensive line, the Jets have not looked that bad the entire season.
Yeah.
That's the worst performance of a shitty offensive line.
Yep, so that was bad. Yeah, then in other news, there was a couple wins. I mean, anything you're proud of? The Ravens bet was your lock. That was a big one, right?
Yeah, my locks have been pretty decent. Lions, love that one. Colts was a little shocking, so I like that one. What I didn't, I was really hopeful that the Giants were still gonna keep Danny DeVito, Tommy DeVito going. I thought he was gonna have one more good game before he fell off, but
He got knocked
I was
out.
wrong. Yeah.
You got knocked out.
Well, either way, it's still.
Yeah.
Then therefore, I didn't cover, so that was sad. And
how about the Eagles? Seahawks.
Listen, first of all, yes, that was ridiculous, but I love it. Fuck the Eagles, man. Like, they're they look like shit now. It's nice to get some of these. The Ravens, the Niners, they're all strong teams, terrifying. The Bills are looking like awesomeness. And then you're now looking at the Cowboys and the Dolphins and be like, are they as good as they can be? The Eagles, definitely not looking as good as they can be. So
I mean,
like
you know that they gave up defensive play calling to Matt Patricia on the Eagles
That's
for that
great.
game? They were 92-yard drive with a minute and a half left to Drew Lock. What are you
Drew
doing?
Lock throws a dime.
Two of them. The one to Metcalf and then the
Right,
fucking
and then-
touchdown. Insane. That was a fun game to watch, and I agree with you. It was like it was going to be a push until they got the touchdown, and I was like, good. If you're going to not cover, lose.
Right. That's true.
That's always the mantra. All right, let's get into the injury report. A lot of guys, a lot of stuff happening here where it's important for the betting. I mean, starting out, Olave's back for the Saints. That's going to be a nice little pickup for them. Jamar, I don't think he's going to play. Jamar Chase is going to be out for the Bengals, right? That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett, we don't know. He didn't practice Wednesday, so we're not sure yet on that one. See, Thursday's going to be a big day to see if he's going to play. Keenan Allen, Chargers, unlikely, which is another one. And then Zach Moss said he's going to try to play, so it looks like it's probable. I didn't know Will Levis is questionable. That Tannehill might start for the Titans.
That's rough.
Yeah. And then Brian Robinson Jr., who, for the Commanders against those Jets, questionable. Zach Wilson, questionable. Is he going to get out of the concussion protocol? You don't know with these guys because
This is the thing about, like, with questionable statuses.
Yeah.
I generally think, like, players who are questionable are going to end up playing. But with concussions, you have to pass a certain
Yes.
test. You can't cheat that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And with so many quarterbacks in it right now, it's
C.J. Stroud.
Stroud, Trevor
It looks
Lawrence.
like Stroud he's not practicing. So it looks like he's not going to play his second game in a
2
row.
weeks.
I mean, so for all you AFC wildcard chasers out there, you can thank Quinnen Williams for knocking the shit out of his ass, right? It's like fucking get some 2 games in him while they're chasing it.
This is what the Jets do.
Yeah,
They started Tom Brady's career with a big hit on Drew Bledsoe, and now we're
they make these tiny moves that are significant to no one.
now we're fucking up C.J. Stroud's career. This is just messed up.
yeah, but then they actually put Case Keenum in there, so he's better than CJ. What the fuck Mills? Davis
Bettors?
Mills.
Oh,
That I was thinking about is Bettors on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jaguars.
Three-name
Which
man.
which he might play in place of
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence. So we don't know about those guys. Tyreek will probably play, and then Stevenson on the Pats, questionable. So
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? All right, let's get into those games. Thursday Night
Woo.
Football, which is tonight because we're recording this on Thursday. So we're going to post on Instagram. You'll have seen the post already, and then you'll know that this was a winner. Lock of the week for Newbs.
I say, why wait to the weekend, right? Just should dive right in.
Dive right in with the lock.
I guess I have, like, Christine has kind of a bias towards the Lions this year.
Yes.
I've had since the Rams Super Bowl season a bias towards their offense when they were fully healthy.
Yeah.
And I think they are. Saints won impressively against the Giants last week, but
But how's the rest of their season been?
yeah, and they sacked, Tommy Cutlets with like 7 times, something
Yeah.
like that. But
Knocked
Giants
him
have
out.
the worst offensive line in the league.
Behind the Jets.
I think it's actually worse pass protection
Oh,
than the
geez.
Jets
Yeah.
somehow. Rams have a pretty solid offensive line. I think they're like 5th in the league in terms of letting up sacks. I'm looking for the Rams to light it up. I might be wrong about that, but
They've been putting up points and at home.
Yeah. And Stafford's back to slinging the ball. So
Yep. Number 8th ranked offense overall in yards per game. Yeah, I mean, Saints have a pretty good defense, but I agree with this. I'm on it. Christine's on it. Minus the 4 points. Yeah.
I will also say my concern about Rams home games this year is that like opposing teams, their crowds have traveled well, but if you looked at the Saints last home game, there's just nobody there.
Oh, no.
The
So-
Saints don't have fans.
Might be a legit home game for the Rams.
It sounds weird.
All right, well, that should be an easy one. Everybody's on the Rams,
On 'em.
hopefully. Take them.
Let's do it. All right, next up, Bengals versus the Steelers. I mean, look, this is a really important game for both teams. Divisional game at the Steelers. We don't know who's playing quarterback yet for the Steelers. That's a question mark.
Yes.
And the Bengals are without Jamar Chase. Maybe. It seems like they're going to be without him. But Browning's been playing well. So it's like, I don't really know what to think here. I'm staying away from this one.
Yeah, I'm the one taking the Steelers at +2. Steelers are at home. I don't necessarily suggest following me on this bet because I just kind of need the Bengals to lose and get out of my face for a minute. So that's kind of steering my bet.
Bills
More-
related.
Yeah, more than the stats and factual information. However, I still think there's a good possibility, especially with Chase being out, that the Steelers go in this. Besides, if you fucking Steelers fans could stop booing your team while they're on the field at home, it might help a little bit, okay? Maybe get them uplifted so I can win this bet on top of everything else.
If you think about this, and you just start looking at stats and whatever, right? The Steelers have one of the worst offenses on paper in the league. Not a good defense. And the Bengals have one of the worst defenses in the league and also not that good of an offense. They both are top 5 in turnover margin, though. So they're winning the turnover battles, and that's why these teams are 8-6 and 7-7. We'll go through the Cardinals. The Cardinals have almost the same type of offense and defensive ranking, and these two teams are, except their turnover margin's way worse, and they're 3-11, right? So like that shit matters a lot.
I guess my only thing is that the Steelers are an absolute mess right now.
Yeah.
They've lost 3 straight. They got crushed by the Colts last week. The past 2 weeks before that, they lost to the Cardinals and Pats at home.
Yes.
George Pickens is like saying he doesn't really want to try blocking
I
anymore.
saw that. Dude, that's bad.
Yeah, it's just they're a team in turmoil. But I don't want to bet on the Bengals because A, Chase might be out, and B, I think Jake Browning's played great. I think we're all kind of waiting for a disaster game.
100%.
Might be like a 4 turnover game.
I didn't bet them last week because of the same
Right.
thing. It's like, fuck, when is it
Right.
going to happen? It's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
you gotta time it perfectly.
Yeah. Like Flacco, even though they fucking won last week, he had 3
Right.
picks, and
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's
Then
gonna
he
happen.
was back.
We had Dobbs earlier this season.
Yeah.
Everybody has that game.
Yeah.
So this is one I just stay away from.
Yep.
I'll take the Steelers on this one.
Good luck.
Yeah, right.
I'm rooting for you.
Ooh, next up, the Buffalo Bills
Hey.
versus the LA Chargers. And again, this is going to be a Saturday game. So the last one was a Saturday game also. There's a couple games on Saturday, which is the day before Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't keep
Yeah.
it together. I have no idea. Whatever. It's all a blur. It's a
Yep.
busy weekend, long weekend.
So this game, look, we know about Josh Allen, we know about the Bills' offense, high
amazing.
flying,
They're
right? Their
amazing.
offense is climbing up little by little, and over the last couple of weeks, where they've put up a bunch of numbers, they're now ranked 4th in yards per game. They're hot right now. I'm betting the under on this one, and it might seem crazy. Why are you betting the under when you have the hot offense in Buffalo and this and that? I don't think the Chargers are going to do that well in scoring. So I think it's going to be like a 30-10 type of game. Why not bet the Bills? Just in case, they have an off game, they're on the road or whatever. I still think they're going to win the game, but I don't want to touch the 12 points. It's too much. I don't want to be backdoor covered on this fucking
That's
game. Right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like they might be up 18 late, and then Easton Stick gets an easy touchdown at the end.
Exactly.
And let me just say, in this game, when I came on this podcast, I really wanted an opportunity to go against the Bills.
Yeah.
Create some kind of conflict, like a Stephen A. Smith, Skip
Ooh,
Bayless type
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, you missed out. That was
But
weeks ago.
yeah, there's no way I'm betting on the Chargers. That's just not.
Right. That's the thing.
Can't
Stick.
do it.
Easton Stick. I mean, not going to do
Come
it.
on. And
Let's
no
go
Keenan Allen,
Bills.
right?
Let's go
Probably.
Bills.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great game. Great game. Can't wait to be out and obnoxious and cheering for easy things that are definitely going to happen.
This is a good one. I might put a decent amount on that under, but it would suck if it's fucking
50-0.
Yeah, I fucking should have been the Bills.
They could score 63 points like the Raiders last week.
You don't know, right? If they could do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, well, they're 12-point favorites. So good
Love
job.
you, Buffalo. You're doing great.
They need it. All right, Colts versus Falcons. Now, the Falcons have made a change, and they're putting Desmond Ridder on the bench, and they're starting Taylor Heineke. So, okay. Heineke versus Minshew in a fucking backup bonanza. I mean,
I don't think anybody wants to waste their time with this game.
Heineke already played a couple games earlier this season.
Yeah. They just
And crushed it.
Well, the owner, Arthur Blank, right? It's the owner.
Yeah.
Then Arthur Smith is the coach.
Yes, right.
Two Arthurs.
They like the Arthurs.
They were like, "Hey, Blank," I probably didn't call him, "Hey, Blank." They're like, "Hey, is Arthur Smith going to be the coach? Next year here?" We'll see. Okay, let's let the season play out here. But the fucked up part is they're in the NFC.
They can win the division.
They can win the division, so they still have a chance. I agree going with Taylor Heineke. I mean, we watched Ridder against the Jets put up fucking 13, and it was against the fucking
And I'm so disappointed. I thought the Falcons. I thought they were going to win that division going into this year.
Yeah,
but just the quarterback play is
bad,
horrible.
Bad. So we're all leaning on the Colts,
but not actually putting any money on it.
No,
we're not that confident.
I mean, it'll be on. If you're in a bar, it'll be on in the corner TV, the 12-inch. It's like somebody's iPad in the corner hung up there.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of one of these teams, like, what are you doing?
I don't know exactly.
You, sir, have a problem.
You did, unless you did like the season-long bet that the Falcons would win this division. You're kind of holding. Oh, come on,
It's true.
Oh, but all right, moving on.
Speaking of great games.
Speaking of great games,
I can't believe this is your lock of the week.
this one is my lock of the week.
Oh.
Green Bay Packers at the Carolina Panthers. This is the game where you should say, fine, 4.5 points on the road against the shitty Carolina Panthers team who were celebrating because they won 9-7 last week. They've won 2 games, and you know how long they've been leading in terms of minutes or quarters or whatever in the whole season?
Under a half.
Is 0.00 seconds. They kicked 2 game winners with no time left.
How embarrassing are you going to be, though, if you don't actually win?
They don't have to be leading. They only have to be within 4.5.
That's right. I think they should win this game by 13 to 20 points. So I'm betting Jordan Love. I know Christian Washington's questionable and stuff, but it doesn't matter. Carolina's they want to lose. They get a better draft pick, and I think
the players don't.
The players don't, but I feel like David Tepper is enough of an owner that might tell the coach, like, don't fucking win this one. And the coach is not even a coach. The coach is like a backup coach.
They can go into the draft again and draft a worse quarterback than...
Yes. Caleb Williams. He'll be crying next year for these fucking guys. So I'm taking it. But you guys are against each other here. You think the Panthers...
I just picked the Panthers because I feel like the Packers really show up for good teams. and
right, I know.
Lay a stinker against the bad teams, especially on the road.
We don't actually give a shit. We just put our little dot where we needed to.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really half-assed.
There was no thinking at all.
I didn't do a deep dive on this game.
Good job with that. Lock of the week, sir.
Lock of the week.
Lock of the week. Not challenging at all.
All right. Well, hey, the Cleveland Browns can't believe they're 9-5. I think their defense wins championships. I don't know against the Texans, which is a shame they don't have Stroud playing because they're 8-6, and this is probably a game where I kind of think that the Browns will probably win this one. You're going against Case Keenum. Maybe they keep it alive, but you don't want it for the Bills, right?
Right. So I'm gonna put my energies towards the under and the Texans, but not my money.
And you think that?
Yeah, this is
the defense.
This is a bet that is assuming that Stroud's not playing. Even if he was, I do love the Browns' defense.
Yeah.
This seems like a low-scoring game, and 40 this season is like high.
It's true. The under's been all over the place, hitting at big numbers. So, very curious to see what's going to happen here. If the fucking Browns are 10-5, it's like, what the hell's going on? And they're 10-5, and do they have a chance to win a division? No, right?
No, Ravens are gonna.
Do they have a chance though?
Yeah,
I don't know the remaining
because
schedule.
Ravens play. We'll get to that game. but they're
Dolphins.
playing the 49ers this week. So.
And then they
Dolphins.
play the
Oh, yeah, the
Dolphins.
Dolphins,
So you got
Ravens.
Tough schedule.
tough schedule, yeah. So it could be.
Got a
Imagine
shot.
Joey Flacco. Should have kept him.
And
you
he's,
know? No.
you saw the contract he signed where it's just like it's just incentivized on him winning games.
Yeah.
It's like 75,000 a regular season game,
that
and
right?
then like it bumps up as you go in the playoffs.
That's like
Good for
arena
Joey,
football
yeah.
contracts.
Pretty much.
Good for Joey. Yeah.
Good for him. I like it. All right, next up, Seattle Seahawks versus the Tennessee Titans. We don't know if Will Levis is playing. That's the
Yeah.
one thing. Tannehill might, but Tannehill fucking was the starter until he got his job taken away when he was hurt. So,
Yeah, I think the Seahawks. I mean, they looked great next to the Eagles. So
they did.
and that's always a mood booster, and I strongly feel that -2.5 spread. Now I know the Titans did give
Miami.
Miami Dolphins the
Yeah.
run for their money,
They
and I
came
love that.
back.
But I also think the Dolphins are frauds, so I'm going Seahawks on this one. 2.5, they'll cover that spread, no problem.
I mean, it's hard to cover DK Metcalf, right? We saw that. It was so, even that late touchdown, it was just over two guys. They're beasts, but I don't know. Is it going to be Drew Lock again?
I don't know, but like, is it?
I don't know.
I'm just kind of leaning that way because the Seahawks actually have something to play for here.
True. Yeah, they need it.
Don't.
Yeah.
And Levis is at least hobbled a little bit.
True. Right. If he doesn't play, he's not healthy.
If I were the Titans, I mean, if he's not close to 100%, why would you play him?
I agree. Yeah, there's no reason to. I mean, unless you don't want controversy. But I think the Jets are going to sign Tannehill next year as a backup.
Oh,
Good.
Jesus.
I think
it's a good idea.
right, and then 2 games in, he'll be the starter.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I mean, at least he's fucking not 1,000 years old, and at least
No,
he's
it's true.
played. I mean, it's clear that he was able to. I don't want to say he's a game manager, but that run game, play action, pass. He did it with Derrick Henry for years.
But he needed Derrick Henry running for like 2,000 yards.
We got Brees. You don't have the third string lineman.
I would say it's the offensive line that we really need to focus on.
I
But
agree.
you're right.
Yeah.
Trevor Simeon should not be
No.
their backup.
Or Tim Boyle.
My God, does everything have to come
Sorry.
back to the Jets?
Yes.
Dan,
Sorry, we'll get
moving
to
on.
we'll get to the awesome Jets.
Oh yeah, because they're all,
All
we
right.
need to talk about.
Next up, the
Jesus
Washington
Christ.
Commanders at the New York Jets.
Game of the week.
The game of the week. Yeah, this
I
is
see
a
how
rough
no
one.
one's putting their money on any of these teams. Great.
No, I don't even. So here, the reason why I'm not putting my money here, I don't know yet. At least I might bet him on Sunday. Zach.
Yeah.
If Zach's not playing, Simeon has no chance. There's no chance.
Yeah, no.
And it's just dog shit versus dog shit. The worst ranked defense in the league versus the worst ranked offense in the league. Who's worse? Like,
Can't wait to see who wins out.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean,
Honestly, I say I'm leaning towards the Jets, but the
You really think
Commanders,
they're on a bad run though right now.
terrible run.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, both teams are on a terrible run because they suck.
Yeah, but 2 games ago we won a big game.
It's true. All right, I'm betting on the Jets now. Then last week against the Dolphins was a fluke.
Bored.
Yes.
Jets are winning out and
Exactly.
ruining their draft position.
100%. Well, the under 37 is probably the smartest bet up
It
here.
is the smartest
to be
bet,
honest
but
with
it's
you.
boring as hell. Because again, this game is gonna be boring as hell. I'm sick of sitting through boring ass Jets games.
Yeah, and this will be on Christmas Eve, and I'll be wearing this ugly sweater that says Jets on it because I'm an
And we'll
idiot.
have to wake up ass early to get all the way out to where we're going, just so we can make sure we're there in time for kickoff for the Jets to lose to the Commanders.
I really wish I didn't have to watch this game.
But you gotta.
I'm gonna. I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate being a Jets fan.
yeah.
It's terrible.
Look, we only have the
Can't all be
longest
mafia.
we only have the longest playoff drought in North American sports. So that's it.
You set a record. It's got to count for something.
All right, they put up. I couldn't believe they put up. Here are all the teams that have, and they just put every team on it that exists. They've been in the playoffs since we've.
Yeah, but you
Rough.
guys won a Super Bowl in 1960.
It is.
69.
It's nice to be able
There you
to
go.
look at that trophy. I don't know how many trophies you got up in Buffalo. But.
Great.
All right, here's a game we're all on here.
Oh, my baby Lions. Love my Lions.
Lions versus the Vikings. You gotta love that one, right?
Come on, Campbell. Do your magic. I want my -3.5 spread to come through. I mean, I think the Lions are the better team here, even though they're going to the Vikings.
They went they went on the road last week, right?
No, they were home against the Broncos.
That's right, they were
but
home.
They destroyed them.
They
But
destroyed the
this is
Broncos.
another indoor thing. I really like.
Yeah.
I really like that Goff and that offense on
And
the
also,
indoor.
like the Lions had a little bit of a stretch where they were, either winning tight games that they shouldn't have or losing games, similar to I think what the 49ers had
Yep.
earlier this season. And I'm betting on this based on the thinking that they got it together last week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they got it together, yeah.
What Goff had like 4 touchdowns or
Yeah.
something like that. A great game.
Their offense is now clicking.
Yeah.
This is an easy one. I would have made it my lock, but I always make them my lock, so I would do something a little different.
It is true.
That's it.
It's like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, I know I can't just do Lions all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, Nick Mullins is not bad. I mean, Justin Jefferson, this and that, but I don't think so, guys. I think the Lions are rolling. 3.5 too. I would have thought this one would have been about like 5.5, 6.5. So I like it.
I get it at 3, but with a -130 vig. So I guess it's
But you could probably buy it
basically
down.
the same as buying it.
I
down.
might look at buying it down
Yeah.
to the 3 points. All right. So looking at this, and it ends up being a 4-point difference. Remember that we said buy the half a point.
Don't buy the half a point. The Lions are going to win well past that.
I've
You'll
done it
be
before
fine.
where I buy the hook, and it's a 30-point game.
Yeah, it's
And I was
not
right,
close.
but it's like, why are you
Right.
buying the
But
half a
you
point?
ended up betting less
Yes.
because of the hook.
Yeah.
Don't bother people. You'll be fine. All right, here we go. We've got the Jaguars at the Bucks. Ugh,
This is a good game that means a lot.
it
We don't-
means a
yeah.
lot. Yeah. Just, again, none of us are betting on it. I'm going Jags, but I don't know now. Like, Trevor Lawrence might not even be playing. If he's playing, I think they'll definitely win this game. But if he's not, the Bucks have been doing better. Baker has been improving the last couple of weeks. I mean, I just don't give a shit. It's,
They're probably going to move the line if Trevor's in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not going to be +1 anymore.
I think Jags are favored.
Flip to 1.5,
Trevor's
maybe?
in, yeah.
-1.5.
course,
But
yeah.
look, Baker's been playing great. He had a fucking great game
Last week.
Right.
Killed it.
People are saying after that game and looking at his whole season that, like, maybe they're going to sign him to a long-term deal.
Yeah,
Like
possible.
a Danny Dimes type of deal. Fucking. I'm
Look
not
how well
joking.
that works.
Yeah.
Hey, he was injured. Because they were doing swimmingly before he was injured. What were they, 1 and 7?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But I'm like, Mike Evans is a fucking beast. I think Godwin's questionable for this game. He got a little banged up last game, but he had a monster game. He had like 156 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns.
One thing I just realized about Mike Evans that I saw was like, I think what is he? It's like 10th season.
Yeah.
And every season over 1,000 yards.
It's like
His rookie
DeAndre
season.
Hopkins.
Crazy.
PEDs.
Right.
Let's
Allegedly.
Yeah, but if you're all doing them, then
True.
this guy's outperforming.
Yes, he's doing a better job with
His
the PD.
fellow PEDs.
He's like Lyle Alzado in the 80s.
Right.
We're all doing it.
Obviously, very topical reference, by the way.
Yes. Everybody knows.
Lyle Alzado.
Ended up with brain cancer, died. All right,
Let's
so
talk about
I'm,
Mike Mandarich.
You two are annoying. This sucks.
I'm on the under 42.5 points here.
You're not. You're leaning on it. You're not.
I'm leaning on it, yeah, of course. So
We're not
I'm just
actually
thinking-
betting any of these, so you don't have to listen to us.
I don't listen to her anymore, but anyway,
Okay.
under 42.5. I just think that
Jerk.
the Bucks actually have a decent defense under Todd Bowles. This is yards per game, but they actually win the turnover margin, so they take the ball away. Probably going to come down to some turnovers. If it's CJ Bettors in, yeah, you're probably going to get a pick out of it, right?
Yeah.
But if it's Trevor, maybe I'll flip my bet because when he says he's hurt, he's not hurt.
Again, you're not betting on this though, so you'll be flipping anything. But you know who is betting
Ooh.
on that Cowboys team? They sucked ass last week because the Bills are just too much. They're gonna do well in Miami because there's no rain, there's no cold. It's gonna be dry and sunny and perfect temps for these Cowboys. Dak is gonna go in and squish the fish and show us how fraudulent the Dolphins actually are, and that is why the Cowboys are my lock of the week.
And you're also hoping that the Bills win the division.
Absolutely. That has nothing to do with my lock of the week at all.
Very clearly biased.
Yeah,
Yes, not biased at all. Not biased at all.
I'm betting the Cowboys here because the Dolphins are banged up. I know that Tyreek's coming back, which is a huge one. I mean, whatever. But there was by Wednesday this week, the whole offensive line was not practicing. That's not a good thing. So if that takes away, I know that Mike McDaniels does some stuff to move the pocket, quick throws, this and that, so he doesn't rely as much on like I'm sitting back, and waiting 4 seconds to throw the ball. But I still think that they rely a lot on the rushing game, and that requires lineman blocking. So a little bit of my bet is on that.
My issue is I'm just sick of betting on the Cowboys on the road because I lose when I do that. So this is
Why do you do that?
Because
Except for
it
now.
sucks. So this is what you might call a spite bet. I'm taking the Dolphins. I wouldn't normally bet on the Dolphins when the Jets are in it, but now that they're mathematically eliminated, I don't give a shit. I hope the Cowboys get beat by 21 points in this one.
Okay.
Oh, except it's not going to happen. You're going to be like, why did I bet the Cowboys on the road again?
Maybe. But at least I'm not going to be on this podcast next week. I do not have to face accountability.
We're gonna get him back if we can scrape together the marketing dollars for his fee.
So tequila and soda.
Give you a
whatever he's
$50
drinking.
buffet special.
I got him Cole's cash.
All right, well, let's go Cowboys. Squish the fish.
All right, next up, a game everybody's paying attention to. We have the Cardinals at the Bears. The 3-11 Cardinals take on the 5-9 Bears, and look, the Bears.
Do we even have to talk about this one?
We can talk about them all.
And we were watching actually with a Bears fan last week where we were going into a wedding, and I'm like, "Do you want them to win right now?" Because they were ready to go down the field, right? And then they lost in a field goal with last seconds, and you could tell he did kind of want them to win, even though it was a worst draft pick and they're already out of it.
Whatever.
It's like
we do.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was kind of like he wasn't upset or
Yeah.
happy. He was just like, I don't know anymore.
But they could have had that win. It would have been 6-10.
You always want to root for winning, your team winning, I
Right.
guess.
And you just
no matter
hope
what.
for a freak play that ends up making you lose.
Yeah, but ask Bears fan, what do they want right now? Do they want to draft a quarterback? That's a big controversy
Yeah,
there.
with Fields, yeah.
Fields, it's like, is he the guy? I don't think he is. I wouldn't keep him.
Now, right now, they have the first pick with Carolina's pick, right?
Yes,
But they could probably get Zach Wilson from you guys.
not
For
bad.
very cheap.
I mean,
It might be better. Tyson Bagent looked better than Fields. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just fucking back up from like Division 3.
well, I got to say, Kyler Murray has not looked especially great.
No.
He had a
Sucks too.
good comeback game, right,
Yeah.
to start, and
Yep.
then
Then he went back to his video games and not watching.
this is just right.
Tape.
Not gonna watch film. I mean, I really half-assed just looking at this game, and
I know. You just go like Bears at home.
Yeah,
their
sure.
favorite,
Yeah.
fucking take it.
Yeah.
yeah, sure, probably bad weather.
Exactly. All right, next up, Patriots at the Broncos. I'm on the Broncos on this one. I'm going to bet the Broncos on this one. The Patriots have hung in with people, and they have a pretty good defense. I mean, they're 8th ranked overall defense. They've done well against some teams that you'd think were okay. But I think the Broncos actually are going to put this one together at home and probably win this one handily. They got a good offense. So I'm going Broncos.
I mean, I'm leaning on it. I don't want to put anyone in this game. I hate both teams. They can both suck it. But Broncos are the better team. Ugh.
Remember when the Pats they hung in with the Chiefs? It was 27-17. But they've been holding a lot of people to under 10 points.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I thought about just leaning towards the Broncos on this. I don't like them being favored 6.5 in any game.
Yeah.
To be honest, Russell Wilson is now like a game manager quarterback. Patriots offense, we know what they are. 34.5 is a crazy low under-over, and I'm taking the under.
Yeah, exactly.
I
agree with you.
I think at most there's like a 17-10 game.
Yeah.
Like that.
But you got to think that, like, you're Belichick in your last season with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And it's Hall of Fame coach versus Hall of Fame coach, right? You don't think that matters to him?
I don't really think he
I don't
gives
think
a
anything
shit.
matters anymore to him. He's like just trying to figure out where he's going
He's
next
gonna.
year.
He's where's he gonna end up? Like
LA.
L.A.
Yeah.
I always call him.
I
San
know,
Diego, but yeah, right.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to audition for them.
Can you
right?
imagine
Like,
if he goes to LA and all of a sudden like he's wearing sunglasses in the thing and he's like Mr. Cool while he's doing the press conferences?
very much
He
see
actually
that.
answers questions.
Yeah.
He doesn't put
Well,
all his
actually-
players on injury reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's questionable.
Questionable.
Whole team's questionable.
Brady's questionable. Yeah, okay.
Well, that is the Sunday night game, so that means that's the
Christmas Eve game?
Christmas Eve night game.
Evening?
Yep. Yep. And then on Christmas Day, you wake up and you watch the Raiders. Raiders. Raiders
Oh,
at the Chiefs. Remember that?
I hate that.
Oh, Raiders.
Raiders!
It's just the worst. It's not even a chant. It's just
No.
that's what Raiders fans came up with.
I mean, like,
That's
if-
cute.
If the Raiders could beat the Chiefs, that'd be fun.
Yes, that would be great.
Would it?
Beat the Chiefs. I would not put my money on the Chiefs at -10 because they suck. They are awful, but they're in Arrowhead because they're always in Arrowhead. They rarely travel, those little douchebags.
I think they travel as much as every other team, but
You know, it doesn't seem like it. Does not
actually,
seem like it.
you know what we haven't talked a lot about? How the 17-game season, that every other year you have more away games than home games.
Yeah.
We don't talk about like which team has the, you know, it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
The 9 home games versus 9 away games, right? It's like,
That's. I mean, that's you could really say that's why the Jets aren't going to make the playoffs this year.
Probably.
If you look,
I feel like you guys played at home like every fucking game because you also
know.
play
It
the
might have been.
Giants at home.
We might have had
Technically,
9. Did we
yeah,
have 9?
probably.
We probably had
counts.
9. Well, anyway, I think always for me. I mean, you were saying maybe under here too, right? So we're both leaning on the under. For me, it's just like you go against like a Crosby,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
disruptive.
I mean,
Chris Jones on the Chiefs.
I don't know. I like the Chiefs at home. They beat the Raiders earlier this season by I think 14 in Vegas. You know,
fair.
I'm not betting on it because it all depends on whether the Chiefs receivers want to drop 10 passes or not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, or
Tony.
what Tony does wrong.
Just
That's, I think
line up
you're
on
better
the
off
side.
betting on what Tony screws up and how many times.
Yeah.
There's a clip going around where Tony, because he's been a mess, and it was from the Senior Bowl when he played in the Senior Bowl, and it was the Senior Bowl practices, and he comes out and just fucking cooks this guy where he does a double move and the corner is out of the screen, and then they throw it over, he drops it, and it was like we should have all known, you know.
It's crazy. If you watch his highlights at Florida, it's like he looked like a generational
Yeah.
receiver. And
I think if he could catch it, he would be.
that's the problem. Just you gotta have hands.
I think that's why Andy Reid's like sticking, like he's like,
Right.
if this fucking guy could put it together, but it's how many years he's gonna figure it out.
Hopefully
So-
not this year.
Nope.
I like the way it's going so far.
All right.
Ooh, another nail biter.
New York Giants going to the Eagles. This is as a kid growing up, I felt like every Sunday it was
Always.
either the Giants, Cowboys, or the Giants and the Eagles, or the Eagles and the Cowboys. The only games that were on, and I always hated it. Stupid NFC divisional games. Yeah, I think it's Tyrod. I think Tyrod's playing because Danny DeVito's out.
I think so.
I
I,
like-
think that's actually
Better.
let's face it, I think it's better for the Giants.
Well, I like
But-
where you guys' heads at. I'm actually thinking like I screwed up. I probably want the Giants because I don't think the Eagles will win, but they'll probably end up just winning by like 2 points because they suck so bad recently.
But
That's-
here's the thing: do you want the Cowboys to win that division, and then get home field advantage to the playoffs, and then potentially?
No,
just,
the
like,
Cowboys should not have home field advantage. They
They're
don't
so
deserve
good
it,
there.
and they always win there, which is odd.
right?
The reason I'm taking the Giants plus 12 is because I've like week after week I'm looking for the Eagles to make a statement and be like, all right, no, we're one of the best teams in the league. And they just keep not doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just like enough is enough. And I think they might cover, but
There was talks about like how Jalen Hurts lost the locker room, and how like they actually had him last week. They had a players only meeting.
they wanted Mariota.
I don't know. They had a players only meeting, and the whole topic of it was we're turning the ball over too much, and it was Hurts was the problem. AJ Brown went to Nick Sirianni and said, we're turning the ball over too much. Like, it's his problem. So then Nick Sirianni, in order to like save face to the team, made Jalen Hurts practice not fumbling the ball. So he was running in place. He would go down, and people would be poking it with a broom, and he just looks like he was defeated.
It's so sad to watch. Like,
I mean,
my God.
Their play calling isn't exactly.
I agree with you.
It's there's nothing imaginative about it, right? Like, there's
Also,
You see the Manning cast where they had Christian McCaffrey on this week?
yeah, and he's just calling what they're doing.
He's calling
right?
the plays that they're doing.
I was gonna say they said that they sent Jalen Hurts on his own separate flight home last week, but they said because he was sick and they didn't want to get the rest of the team sick. Well, I don't know. Maybe like
It's weird.
Get the fuck off. Go by yourself. I don't know.
I thought maybe that Mariota was going to start and they were going to blame it on an illness because they were on the road.
Right.
So like, oh,
I don't know. Just
can you imagine if Mariota leads them through the playoffs because the fucking
the guy Jalen Hurts goes from MVP candidate to he didn't win it.
Poking him with brooms on the
no.
field.
I
of
mean,
practice.
you could argue that Super Bowl that Jalen Hurts played
One of the best,
games
yeah.
a quarterback has ever played.
But he lost,
Didn't
so he didn't
win.
win MVP.
Yeah, that's rough. Well,
We'll see.
see what happens. I like the controversy, so let it happen.
Also, fuck both those teams. I don't.
Yeah.
All right, well, here's one that we're actually putting our money on. All of us. Woo, woo, woo.
Oh
What a
boy.
great Monday Night Football.
This
Christmas.
is going to be a good one. This is going to show us who's who. Baltimore at 49ers. I think they're both great teams. I'm taking the Niners, though, because the Niners are at home. They continue to impress me and make me money, and I am terrified to go against them in the playoffs in the Super Bowl when I have to play them in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
Very afraid of that. Baltimore, still afraid, but not as much so because I feel like the Niners are just crushing it. They're a scary, scary, scary team.
Baltimore might be a team that you're going to go on the road to play in Baltimore.
Right,
That's, to be
absolutely.
honest
And
with you,
and
that's
still terrifying, but like the Niners are, it's like Baltimore's here and Niners are here. Terrifying level.
their offense is too loaded. I mean, defense too. Number 2 ranked offense, number 9 ranked defense. They don't turn the ball over. The Niners are they're so good. They went on that couple game stretch. I get it. But then after that, boom, they're back, I think they're back. And they're at home.
Right, they're at home. That's very helpful.
Take that 4.5. I like it. I'm going with it.
Yeah, I think these are like the 2 most complete teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you saw everything I leaned on with over-unders was all unders, and now I'm actually betting the over, which is it concerns me.
It's a big over.
Got 2 good defenses going against each other.
But here's so my concern is so Zay Flowers and ODB I think are questionable.
Questionable, yeah.
I think with receivers that just means they tweak something.
They didn't practice on
Yeah.
Wednesday, but
I think they'll be fine. I want to see, Ravens have a great pass rush, like ridiculous pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
But the Niners offense with, Shanahan and those weapons, I just see them being able to neutralize that with like quick plays, especially to those receivers,
Yeah.
McCaffrey. I think that will also involve them being up tempo to start the game. And if they score early, I think the Ravens will start to match that, and the Ravens have that capability as well. So
yeah.
I'm just looking for a shootout. I'm hoping for it.
Top 5 offenses, both sides of the ball, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
that gets you there. It's just that they have top 10 defenses.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, shit. The Niners offense versus the Ravens defense is such a good matchup. And it's also the head coaches, right? It's like Shanahan and then Harbaugh's an offensive guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
But-
who's the defensive guy?
So this is, when you bet the over, it's just like, how do they come out? Do they come
True.
out up tempo, or do they come out just ball control?
Yeah.
So I'll be able to tell if I'm fucked.
Yeah, I feel like this is sounding like it's a bad idea to bet the over the way we're
No, I mean,
Well, no,
McCaffrey could come out. Last time
yeah.
he ripped off one run for 63 yards, and they were gone.
Right.
They were off to the races.
You
I
get a-
know what the Niners can do. I just you're
get
also
a-
playing a good Baltimore defense.
You can get a
as well.
slip screen to Debo that he breaks out for 80 yards. It's just they're just both explosive offenses. Right? Like Ravens have it too, so they can both do it.
Yeah, so what do you think end score is going to be to get you to the 47?
32-25.
You want to push? I like it. Rooting for the push.
Push is a win.
Well,
That was 50 cents. What
Oh man, I didn't do the math.
Yeah.
32.
That's not really what I think.
Yeah,
the score is
2-5.
I think it's gonna be either like they crush you over, or I know I'm done by the end of the first quarter.
Could be setting up for a second half over.
Exactly. And you know what they say? In-game betting is
Highly
your
profitable.
best chance at winning.
All right, so in summary, what are we actually betting? What are we betting? So I'm going to post this very soon. As soon as we're done filming this, put it online. This way you know about it. Rams, Thursday Night Football. Newbs is lock. Let's fucking go.
We're all on that one.
We're all on it.
Then I got the Steelers against the Bengals at +2 because I'm just doing it more so because I want the Bengals to lose. So, Steelers fans, be nice. Cheer on your fucking team for this one time while you're at home.
Yep, I'm on the Bills-Chargers game under 44. I think that the Chargers aren't going to do a lot there. I know that there's some injuries on the Bills on the defensive side of the ball, but I just think that with Easton Stick, not going to have enough. And then I'm on to the Packers -4.5 as my lock of the week versus those crappy-ass Carolina Panthers who suck.
Strange lock of the week. I have the Seahawks -2.5 at Titans. Seahawks dominated last week. I think they got a little mojo going, and they're going to do the same this week. So, not my lock, but definitely putting money on them.
We're all on those Lions.
Woohoo! Because we love the Lions for whatever reason.
Dan Campbell and the boys going to roll in a dome.
Well, domes are fun,
Nick
too.
Mullen. Nick Mullen.
There are multiple.
He's mulling it over.
And then my lock of the week, but Josh and I are both on, are the Cowboys -1.5. This tool down here,
This is where there's conflict
Dolphins.
because Christine loves the Cowboys, and Josh has to be like, okay, I guess it's you're doing it. I'll do it too.
Oh, no. It's fine. You say what you want to say. The Cowboys are going to squish the fish. We're going to learn that they're the frauds that I know that they are. And
All right, and next up, I'm on the Broncos -6.5 points against the Patriots because I think the Pats are trash, and I think that the Broncos actually have something to play for here, and they're still in the hunt, and that's it.
I might join you on that one if it's still 6.5.
Okay. All right.
then the last and final game of this long Saturday, Sunday, Monday football weekend. We have the Niners -4.5. Josh and I do against the Ravens, and this clown over here just explained why he thinks the over is going to hit at 47.
Again, Shootout Central. We got 65 points in this one.
Yeah, need a big first couple drives,
Yeah,
right up front.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh,
Big
that's
plays.
it.
All right. Look, that's all, folks. This is the last one before, the holidays are here. It's, Christmas
season.
time is here. Walking in a winter wonderland. Remember that one?
Okay, move along.
Yeah. You're hitting all the classics.
Yeah.
Dominic the Donkey's next, please.
Like that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Forget about all the people that are celebrating Hanukkah. No, I'm just kidding. You could have a fun time too with the unleavened bread and such.
Yeah. I mean, you're already pretty much done with Hanukkah at this point.
Yeah, it's finished.
Are you? I don't know.
Josh has no idea. He's so ignorant. He doesn't follow along at all.
Follow the Greek calendar.
It's you're at the point where it's the bad presents.
Right.
Right. We're gearing up for the good ones.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right.
And if you can get online, look, I don't know if everybody sees. You can go on Spotify if you want. You got 5 hours to listen to Rogan. You could also listen to us for 42 minutes. Okay, so go on Spotify if you like it instead of going to
Just as
YouTube.
good.
Subscribe, like, and this and that, and comment down below whether or not you want this guy to ever come back on the podcast because we're gonna see if it's worth the fee.
I'm a subscriber, so I will comment.
If you're the only one, I guess we'll have to pay the fee.
Yeah, 100% of the comments. So like, this guy's awesome.
He should move to Vegas so he can do it with you every week.
All right, well. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Go Bills.
Happy holidays.
Buffalo.
Couple of bettors. Couple of bettors.
I how to make money. I'm betting with better. I'm fighting with better.
Couple of betters.